This is a SIG SG-550. It's the most common gun in the Swiss military. And this is Switzerland's landscape. These two factors make Switzerland one of the best places on earth to do banking. How? Let's find out. Hi guys, Random here. When we think of Switzerland, we either think of chocolate or banking. And neither of them are new to Switzerland. In fact, both of them started to develop around the same time at the start of the 17th century. There was a lot of religious turmoil at that time. Not because of the chocolate, but because that was the age of the Enlightenment. Thinkers like Martin Luther and John Calvin had opposed the teachings of the church, a dangerous thought for those living at that time. Generally, those who were inclined to such thoughts were highly intellectual, talented people. Fleeing persecution, they needed a place to go, and that place was Switzerland. Switzerland was neutral on the topic of religion, and having skilled persons coming was a welcome to the country. And as they kept coming, Switzerland maintained that policy of neutrality. The neutrality that they had wasn't just on religion, but on everything. They did not get involved in matters that didn't concern their country. Thus, businessmen and other powerful individuals started to use Swiss as a place to bank. And in 1713, they reinforced that trust. They passed legislation prohibiting the bank from disclosing any information. Now, wealthy individuals couldn't just store their money there. They had the trust that no one else knew about it, and money just kept coming in. To understand why they are neutral, you need to look at its geography. They are located here, in the geographic center of France, Italy, and Germany. And over the years, these countries have not always seen eye to eye. Getting invaded is not fun, making neutrality the best strategic move, to the point of not getting involved in any military alliance. And that has lasted until today. They are not even part of NATO, and although being in the center of the European Union, they are not even part of it. But neutrality means nothing if someone could just walk in and take it away. But that is not Switzerland. Look at this. These are not just beautiful mountains. This is a Swiss terrain. It is formidable. A country cannot just simply invade. Just getting troops there will be a difficult task. But history is made up of not the most logical thinkers. So what if someone did try? Here's their first problem they need to deal with: getting in. The Swiss has placed explosives on almost every entrance and exit to the country. And just ask the Russians how difficult it is to operate without a road. If they were able to conquer that obstacle, they then had to deal with the Swiss army, one of the most technologically advanced armies in the world, over 148,000 strong. They have home field advantage as well as trained to fight in their terrain, armed with a trusty SIG SG-550, a Swiss-made gun. They are reinforced by one of the most motivated forces in the world, their citizens. And you should never think that these are untrained individuals. Every male is required to do mandatory military service, and women can even volunteer if they wish to do so. This is so popular with the Swiss people that in 2013 a referendum was made to abolish the conscription. 73% of them voted to keep it in place. And their gun laws is similar to their banking laws in that it helps the country. After someone is discharged from the military, they are allowed to keep that trusty SG-50. And anyone could own a gun in Switzerland, some of which doesn't even need a permit. The government encourages this fact by every year holding games that encourage gun safety as well as gun training. All of this adds up to the invading force will have to face not just formidable terrain and a formidable army, but a country that will defend its right to remain neutral. And that is where you want to have your money, in a place that is not just private, but is also stable. Here's another fact you can add to why you want your money there. They are self-sustaining. By necessity, they need to have a stable economy. And again, their laws encourage this. Banking makes up over 12% of their economy. Thus, they pass laws to ensure that they are financially responsible. They're not just going to spend money on any and everything. It needs to make financial sense to do so. They have perfected this to the point that their inflation rate is next to zero. To illustrate why that is important, if you had $1 million at the start of 2020 and just simply left it in the bank, by the end of 2021 you would have lost over $46,000 due to inflation. However, if you had $1 million in Swiss francs at the start of 2020, by the end of 2021, you'd have lost a little under 6,000 francs. How much is a Swiss franc? It's worth more than a US dollar. That kind of stability isn't just protection, it's an investment. This is a Swiss inflation rate from since 2000. If you calculate the average, you'll get 0.5. And some years, they even have negative inflation rates. They try to maintain their rate at 0. Thus, just like gold that maintains a price, so does the Swiss franc. Still not convinced that you should have a Swiss bank account? Okay. This is how much confidence there is in Swiss banking. The Bank of International Settlements is based in Switzerland. What is that? That is basically the central bank for central banks. Your country's money is already there. Think of the confidence and trust that is needed for governments around the world to make such a decision. To be a delegator and financial advisor for basically all of the world's money. Switzerland over the years have developed the trust and financial responsibility to handle money, and it's one of the best investments you can make. Thanks for watching.